day has finally come. From now on we can watch The Hobbit in the cinema. I'm quite excited about this actually. I'm not going to be able to get over there until Sunday. Normally I'm not too keen to watch films that are based on books that I've read and liked. I've known The Hobbit most of my life, practically as far as I can think back, but I'm looking forward to seeing it anyway. I enjoyed Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings, and I expect I'll enjoy his Hobbit films. He's making more than one film. For comparison, Lord of the Rings, okay, his paperback is this thick. The Hobbit is only this thick, okay? Now, if that's 3 films, that should fit into one film, but they're making more than one film because obviously they can make more money like that. They're putting a lot more material in there, so we're going to see Legolas, who doesn't appear in The Hobbit. I know quite a few women who are looking forward to that. And Legolas, I assume, will be having his bow, and we might see him do some shooting. I've seen some pictures, and even though I think the first film will end when the dwarves Bilbo and Gandalf are rescued from the wolves out of the trees by the eagles, we're going to see some archery done by Thorin as well. One thing I'm going to be paying attention to, well, I'm expecting, is anyone using a bow and arrow, we're going to hear that bow creak. It's something that I didn't notice until Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings film, The Fellowship, at the end where his orc Lurtz is about to finish off Boromir. He's standing there, he's drawing his 4th arrow, and the bow creaks. Now, bows don't make this sound. And it's something that is, should we say, relatively new. If you look back in history, film history, in the 1950s, Kirk Douglas in The Vikings, there are 2 scenes where they use bows and arrows. You hear arrows whipping through the air, but you don't hear the bows creak because they don't make that noise. Later on in the 1980s, Schwarzenegger, Conan the Barbarian, there are 2 archers there using bows and arrows, and even though you hear the arrows whipping through the air, you do not hear the bows creak for the simple reason they don't make this sound. It's not just Peter Jackson, also other films, the Arthur film with Keira Knightley as Guinevere, we see a few archers there. Once again, when they draw back their strings, their bows creak. I assume this is because the filmmakers assume you're stupid and you might think that these bows are not strong. So they want to give you the impression that there's something really working here. So when someone draws back their bow, it makes a sound. Of course, the archer himself isn't allowed to make that sound because this would imply his bow is too strong for him. So they have creaking bows. Now to demonstrate, this is me with an English longbow. It's made of wood. And pay attention to the sounds you hear. Now it's possible that you heard a tiny little sound when I put the arrow to the string. I'm quite sure you did not hear anything when I drew back. When I released, the target is only 2 meters away because I'm shooting indoors. You heard a thud then of the arrow hitting the target, but you definitely did not hear the bow creak in any way. For comparison, this is me now shooting with a short bow. It's got a wooden core and it's got glass fibre on the outside. Now here too, you might have heard me actually putting the arrow to the string. When drawing back, there's a tiny scraping noise with this bow. That's the wood of the arrow scraping against the wood of the bow. Perhaps you can hear that, but I'm quite sure you do not hear any creaking noise coming from the bow's limbs. If a bow creaks, then it means something is broken. If you come to your full draw and your bow was creaking and you let go, you are risking that you're shattering that bow, which means you've got wood, splinters, bone or horn splinters flying through the air right in front of your face. No archer in his right mind would release a bow if it makes a noise like that, what you hear on TV. It's